Have you ever wanted to use your Windows Phone as a remote viewer for your Garmin VIRB Elite camera? Well, now you can, and we're going to take a look at it today with our 12 Days of Hidden Gems. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Daniel Rubino here with Windows Central, and we're taking a look at Garmin VIRB Elite HD camera. It's got a lot of names. This is what it looks like. It goes for about $300. It's part of the whole wearable camera technology that's out there these days. And you can see it comes with this really cool mount, which I'll demo it here for you. So this is really sturdy. It clicks in and it basically allows you to stick this anywhere through this 3M tape. So you peel this off, stick it to your motorcycle helmet, stick it to your airplane wing if you're lucky enough to have an airplane. You can put it on your car, you can do whatever you want with it. And then of course you can adjust its angles and everything with these little knobs. And that allows you then to record stuff in extreme weather. It doesn't matter. This is waterproof. You can even go swimming with it. There's an extra case if you want to go really deep diving with it, but it should be good for most people. It's also obviously very sturdy, so if you drop it, it won't break. You got these huge buttons here. You can manually record by flicking that. You also got some buttons here on the side and a power button. You got to really kind of press these a little bit hard to make them work, which is good since you don't want them accidentally recording and going off. You can see the lens protector right there. That is a lens protector, I should note. So if you ever damage that, you can actually unscrew this little unit and put a new one on for about $20. It's powered by a 16 megapixel CMOS sensor, and it's it does 1080p video, so it doesn't do 4K, but I think for most people 1080p is still probably pretty good. Over here we have a battery compartment, so you could just pull this open and you got the little waterproof lid there. 2000 milliamp battery, and below that is a micro SD card. And they say you can take up to 64 gigs. I put a 128 gig in there and it worked fine, so don't worry about that. The big thing though, of course, is the size. It's a little bit bigger than say a GoPro, but I love the build of it actually. It feels great in the hand to hold it like a flashlight almost. Very sturdy, and that bigger battery allows you to get around 3 hours of recording time, which is actually pretty long for a 1080p video. You also have this 1/4 inch chroma display, which allows you to do your settings and everything directly on it. It can also act as a viewfinder. Now it's not backlit, that's what chroma basically is, sort of, and so it doesn't look as good as this, but overall it allows you to see through the viewfinder and do all sorts of cool stuff. And most of these kind of cameras in this class don't have that feature, so that is definitely pretty neat. But what we want to take a look at is the VIRB app, which you can see right here. So I set it up through Wi-Fi. This basically creates its own Wi-Fi network, and then you connect the Windows Phone up to that directly, and then it allows you to see what is going on through the camera. And overall it works pretty well, but I have had some Wi-Fi issues. I'm not sure if it's just interference or what, but sometimes I lose the connection and then it tries to reconnect, and so it requires you toggling that on and off, which isn't too bad. I should say power the Wi-Fi on and off on that, not restart it. But as you can see here, I'm seeing through the camera now, and that is the live view. And so this allows you to say mount it outside of a window or on the airplane wing, and then you can go back and see how you look on it. So that is definitely very useful if you're going to do some sort of remote selfie kind of thing. Once you're in the app, you have two buttons here. One is for video and one is for photos. So if I hit that, I'll take a photo at 16 megapixel. You can actually control the size of that as well. And tapping that button, of course, will start to record. And once I do that, this will actually, the live view will go away. Instead, it goes on to here, and that's just a function of it. And when you stop recording, it'll come back. So you can still do other settings as well, but yeah, you don't get to actually see what it's recording when it's actually happening. So that is sort of a downside, but still, you do get a lot of cool other features. And then the other big selling point here is you go into settings and you can see everything. So you got storage. I can see my storage card, how much room I have left. Battery percentage right there, 83%. And this does have GPS and an altimeter in there, so a lot of people will find that stuff extremely valuable. Sliding over here, you have your different video settings, so you can do 1080p, tall HD, fast, economy, slow motion, and time lapse, which is pretty awesome. You can set this up at nighttime, say, and do the stars. And you can set the time lapse recording over here, 1 second up to 1 minute, and in between those times as well, so you can get a really cool video. You have different zooms here: ultra zoom, zoom 1, zoom 2, and wide. Which is really good. You also have loop, auto record, and microphone on or off. Heading over to video, you got your 16 megapixel photo capability. You can also do 12 or 8, which is pretty good. Self-timer, you have repeat, so you continuously take pictures using the self-timer delay. And data stamp, you can turn on or off as well. Finally, under advanced, you have power saves. That's going to help save the display there a little bit. Lens correction, since it shoots very wide, you can actually adjust this a little bit. Digital stabilizer, no optical image stabilization, but still, digital is pretty decent, especially if you're, say, skateboarding, you have this on. You may want to toggle that. Usually with digital, there's some artifacts though, so some people don't like using it. You can flip the camera, so depending on how you mount it, if you flip it upside down and it's mounted upside down, you can, of course, rotate that image around to match actual viewing angles. GPS on, off, or it actually has an option that it only turns on when recording. And the whole point of that, of course, is one, sometimes you don't want GPS on, which is obviously a good thing. The other thing is, of course, when you use GPS, it's going to consume more battery, so perhaps you want to save it, so it only turns on when you're actually going to record, which is pretty nice. You also have a recording light, so it's kind of hard to see here, but there's actually a green light there, and I'll turn red when you're recording, so you know that. And there's some tones as well, which I actually have not heard, but supposedly they're there. And so that is the app itself. So you can't view anything you record on this through the app, which is kind of a downside. So in order to do that, you got to peel open this little guy, and you have your mini USB and micro HDMI outputs, so you can still see stuff that way. You can just, of course, pop out the micro SD card and just mount it to a computer if you so choose. So there's some limitations obviously to this app. It's just a pure viewfinder app, but overall it works pretty well and does allow you to do lots of cool stuff with the Garmin video camera that you couldn't otherwise do. And so for that, it's a great app to have if you have this camera. And I actually do really like this camera. I think it's pretty awesome. But there you go. Head to Windows Central for more information and tell us what you think. Take care, everybody.